Fossil fuel companies are suing governments across the world for more than $18 billion. Climate news.
Here's a summary of the article.
Fossil fuel companies are suing governments across the world for more than $18 billion after action against climate change has threatened their profits, according to research conducted by campaign group Global Justice Now and provided exclusively to Sky News. 5 energy companies, including British companies Rockhopper and Ascent, are using a legal process that allows commercial entities to sue governments under international laws governing trade agreements and treaties. Canada-based TC Energy, the company behind the controversial Keystone XL pipeline, is suing the U.S. government for $15 billion after the Biden administration cancelled the project, citing the fight against climate change. Global Justice Now trade campaigner Jean Blaylock told Sky News, "Fossil fuel companies should be paying to fix the climate crisis they caused, but instead they want a payout. They're suing governments who take climate action through secretive corporate courts, massively increasing the cost of climate action. These cases are only becoming more common as governments commit to climate action. World leaders may finally be waking up to the threat of the climate and ecological crisis, but fossil fuel companies are holding them to ransom, demanding ever greater payouts through corporate courts. When world leaders gather in Glasgow, they'll make lofty promises on climate action, but it will all be for naught if fossil fuel companies can sue governments into a state of climate paralysis. It could make a mockery of pledges at COP26.
This post received a score of 25,000, with an upvote ratio of 94%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Article text. Thanks. I had to quit reading the article because of the ads. I don't mind ads per se, but these keep resizing and reflowing the page.
I had to quit reading it because of the anger it caused me.
I don't know if they can even pull the suits off. It just seems impossible for them to enforce.
I wonder if it's the test balloon for corporations. They've bought the politicians who appointed the people they wanted to negotiated the treaties, which favors them in trade negotiations and now can be used against the countries.
After all the fucking subsidies and tax breaks they've had for the past century, it's still not fucking enough?
With the way fossil fuel companies covered up climate change for decades, they're lucky they're not on trial by national governments for crimes against humanity. The amount of deaths they've directly and indirectly caused will be countless. Instead, they have the nerve to sue the governments themselves? There are no words to describe the depravity of these subhuman creatures.
Greater than they're lucky they're not on trial by national governments for crimes against humanity. The amount of deaths they've directly and indirectly caused will be countless. Can we make this happen? That'd be fantastic.
Steven Donziger, who successfully sued Chevron in Ecuador for this very thing, was disbarred and placed on house arrest in the U.S. for his effort. The world's biggest governments are in the oil companies' pockets. Edit. Apostrophe.
That counter-suing article was wild. How can the U.S. justice system be so corrupt?
Because the leaders are in those positions because the oil companies paid for them to get there.
Well, let's sue them for $18 trillion then. Seems only fair as we share the cost of the externalities of their actions equally.
Would it be possible to mount a class action? Edit. It looks like it's not possible. At least in the U.S. Maybe a class action, not directed at the companies themselves, but targeted at individuals for lying, deception, endangering others' lives, loss of chances, anything.
People tried to sue before with other environmental issues and failed because of lack of standing. Scalia said that to sue you must have tangible and particular harm. An ethereal future harm for everyone isn't good enough. IDK, this is just what I remember from law school. An environmental lawyer would know much more. Fuck Scalia.
Well, we are well past the point where this is ethereal or constrained only to the future.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.